Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Hey guys, Weed Solo here, aka the Simp King. That's right, I'm not even going to talk about how I used to be the Skeleton King, because all I care about now are tig old biddies and a big old bumper. So, I did a sub 7 Lost Temple, and I wish I'd almost done it with my same gear, because I actually think the biggest change in this video, as opposed to my previous videos that I've been showing you guys, which was largely the same gear in a lot of them, is that I switched to an Act 3 Holy Shock Merc. Now, the Holy Shock Merc is the black sheep of mercenaries. I guess like the Might Merc kind of is. The Blessed Aim Merc, you know, used to be / still is, considering he doesn't work on most summons. And most melee builds really don't need the Deadly Strike. There's probably some min-max build that could use some AR and Deadly Strike, and maybe it kind of works out for them. I know there's a couple of builds that actually do run a Pride Merc just because they're ED hungry. So, yeah. But anyways, it's like, you know, Blessed Aim, Might, and Mr. Old Act 3 Holy Shock. And the reason I'm using him is not even just because of the Light Pierce. I actually think the Light Pierce is a pretty small factor. Now, what's funny is I was telling you guys that I think Pierce is broken, like the skill for Amazons. And yes, I do believe that is broken. But there's something else about Static Shock that I completely underrated. Do you see this screen right now we're watching? Did you see how basically the entire screen had Static Shock affecting it? That Static Shock basically is like procking Crushing Bro. Crushing Bro. It's what it should be what it's called, Crushing Bro, on the entire screen. So what does that mean for a build like mine that relies on summons and fairly low damage minions, but a lot of them, right? Instead of being a character that can actually just kill things quickly, which sounds like so convenient, and why do I never do that? I don't know, I'm retarded. Instead, I'm relying on all of these really stupid little minions running around, and guess what? They really like dealing with minions with less health. So if Static Shock basically reduces the health of everything on the screen by 15%, that seems really good. And if you actually watch the Valk's Power Strike, I'm completely sold on Valkyries. In fact, I almost don't even want to try a build anymore that does not run Peace, the rune word that is a budget rune word you can make very early on in the game and allows you to summon a 4th Valkyrie. Now, is it for sure BIS for this build? I'm pretty set on the fact that decoys are not the answer. Now, when I do finally get a Beast Scepter, or if I do switch to Vigor, I mean, I do love Act 1 Vigor, so a Faith Merc could be in the works. Now, if you'll notice, this run is a sub 7, and I think I do pretty good. The map mods are pretty good. We have Fetishes, which are like the best map mod in the game. There's Crushing Blow, which is actually really bad. So there's that, but that doesn't really affect my clear speed. Maybe a couple times I'm a little scared and I take too much damage a few times. So does my Mercenary, and Crushing Blow is a big factor for that, especially on a map that already has minions that can cast Crushing Blow, or, you know, proc Crushing Blow, the Blunderboars. Or what are they called? Crushers in this map? Whatever. And they do have increased attack rating. That's not too big of a deal. But in the end, pretty good map mods. Yes, there's 6% or 5% light absorb. But I don't think that's too bad. Now, again, I am sold on Power Strike. Now, both Bubbles and Rin Rin are not Power Strike fans. But from all of the eye test and play I've done, it shows me that Power Strike is a big reason Valkyries are able to kill larger swaths of enemies than they should be able to. The radius is, I think, the same as a Fire Golem. I don't know that for sure. I probably should figure that out. But I think it's 10 yards, which is which is not bad. There's a reason why fire golems are one of the best summons in the game. It's because they kill more quicker than most other summons. Well, guess what? Valkyries have that too. So that sounds really, really good. Yes, the damage isn't that high, but the thing is, with an Act 3 Merc, with all of the random mods that spawn, and by the way, I have never done a map where I try to make good Valkyries, okay? I've never done that. They just roll with what they roll with. But you can always get, you know, extra light damage, etc., things like that, that'll actually affect the power strike. Or what about +2 jab skills, right? So all of these things would increase that power strike, and to me it's a noticeable part of why this build is able to clear fast. Of course, I am also using, oh, look at that, dude, ugh, I almost died there like 3 times. That was disgusting. I'm also using Nauseous Puzzler now. Now, do I think this is just better than using Harmony? I'm not going to go back, and it's not because of the blink. The blink is really good, and yes, it helps me run this map faster in some places, but I also go slower in some places, right, because Vigor's actually a pretty nice speed boost. Now, I do have a lot of extra faster run walk already because I'm a passive Zon, so those skills are a lot higher than they should be normally, but Vigor has velocity as well, and basically velocity affects your character in a way different than faster run walk, so you don't kind of get that diminishing returns of increasing one skill, a linear skill by, 5% every so often. Instead, you get velocity, which is a little bit different. But what do I actually get from the Naj set besides Blink, which is like, let's say it's a wash, right? Instead of Vigor, I get Blink. And for a lot of situations, I think it's pretty close to a wash. I don't actually use it to reposition my Valkyries very much, but I get a lot more faster cast rate. In all of my old videos, I was running a build that had the 48 cast rate breakpoint. In this one, I have the 95 or 9, whatever the fucking number is. The one right before the last breakpoint. And that feels so much better casting decoys and also inner sight. And actually, I use inner sight more often now than slow movement. Now, slow movement is an incredible ability, and I love the way it feels. But when you want to go fast, you don't want minions going slower. You want them going faster. Now, there's a lot of interesting things we've been learning about how Decoy and Valkyrie AI seems to be, why are they so stupid? I think that should deserve its own video. This is really just about playstyle, but hopefully we can do something about that for next season. So anyways, I'm going to go through gear on my Merc. Pretty simple, Death's Phasm. It just gives you skills and FCR. Occultist, my only FCR gloves I had at the time. Sandstorm Trex and the IK belt are just for strength stat. So is the Andes, and that's because I cannot afford to slam this or lose this Tyrael's Might. And I don't just want to, do a, what's it called, the Larzac hammer on it. Although it's only a 7 roll, so maybe it's not really worth a P-box. But, what if it cores really well? You know how it is, guys. Then my gear, most of my gear is incredibly similar. Now, I actually do lose some skills on decoys. Well, guess what? I don't think it fucking matters. I think decoys are complete ass, guys. I'm sorry. So there you can see I hit the 99 breakpoint, and that feels so much better. Now, again, I still have points in decoys, but I did not max Strafe. And I did not max Strafe because I felt like maxing light or power strike was better, and I do think it is better. I think decoys are, as of not having every aura, especially fanaticism, which buffs them pretty significantly, I think they're a trap. All right, guys, Skelly King out. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy.